to the Spiritual Earth Angel 2323. My name is Grace A. Channel. Today it's going to be probably a little noisy today, but it's going to be okay. Hopefully you can hear me. Today I want to talk about, because God has been dealing with me, download some messages on, going deeper into the soul, for deeper healing, deeper knowledge, and deeper wisdom. And as I was meditating, while driving, because me and my husband, we have a business and we travel a lot. And then I also have a second business too, of a skincare product business, and that also has spiritual skincare items in it also. And I posted a link at the end of this video if you want to look at it, if you want to buy some things to edify your life, to bring healing into your mind, body, and soul. I'd like to thank everyone, the subscribers. I'd like to thank the reviewers. I'd like to thank you. Hit the like button, that you're liking the teaching. Some of you has been awakening, because I have been getting some messages and stuff like that you have now awakening to your calling, your mission, your spiritual path. You're using your gifts and your talents effectively. You're more tuned in to your self-awareness, and tuned into the divine being and what he's saying in your life, and who is your soul tribe or your community that you need to reach out to. So let's go ahead and get started, because sometimes my videos can be very long. I'm trying to make it short as possible, so that way you can get the full effect, the meaning of it with this. So let's get started. So the card that you see there is good. It's going to be the topic: unplug from mass unconsciousness is going to be the title of this. And what it means that when I was going into deep thought by praying and meditation to God, totally tuned into what he was speaking to me at that moment and at that time. And he was talking about the belief systems. A lot of people, the chosen ones, spiritual beings, earth angels, light workers, star seeds, etc. We all had picked up a belief system of morals and values, from a child, that was instilled in us. The do's, the don'ts, what not to say, what to say, don't do this, don't do that type, belief system, like mind controlling type system, that wants to reprogram your mind to a certain way of thinking and a certain way of doing things, to the bend of the will of others. And that's what God is saying, is he's going deep inside the mind, the body, the soul, and uproot that old belief system that no longer work, that slavery mentality that no longer work in this generation, in this new cycle lifetime. And it's okay to ask questions when you need to ask questions. It's okay to ask for help when you need to ask for help. If you don't understand something, it doesn't make you feel dumb. It doesn't make you feel stupid or anything like that. It doesn't make you feel crazy either, or you're mentally disturbed just because you thinking outside the box, or you are so tuned into the divine one that others thinking that the way that you think is not normal when it really is normal. And don't allow people to say that your way of thinking is wrong, because their way of thinking can be wrong also. So don't allow people to bend their free will, their belief system onto you, because God's saying you're doing a great job, you're doing your best on your spiritual journey, your spiritual calling, your mission. We all gonna have to learn. We all gonna have to get deeper in wisdom and knowledge and awareness on the spiritual journey, continuing our healing. It's always going to be constantly tuned into the divine one, for guidance, your ancestors and your angels. With this process, this is not a quick race with this, because there is so much messages and divine messages and prophetic messages that's going to be coming to the chosen ones to give to the world, and also for themselves and in their lives. So let's get started. So one of them I want to talk about, it's saying practice makes the master. Always do your best. And what it's saying is that, we all been through where, you practice this, you get better at it. Somebody, like they're saying, oh, you just keep on doing this and you'll get better at it. You'll get better at it. Practice makes it better and make it best and make it, yes, that's okay. That's still in that old belief system that was being programmed into our minds, of practice makes best. If you already done been through something and it's not working for you, then it's time to move on from it. That means you already done learned everything you need to learn from that situation, or either it's just not for you. And you keep going at the same thing and keep repeating the same cycle and keeping getting stuck. And you wonder why that every time you come to this certain point, you're getting obstacles or you're getting stuck. It's because God doesn't want you going in that direction anymore. You already completed that cycle. You went around it once and you learned a lesson, or he put a blockage there because that's not where you need to go. So they're saying that the habits of misusing your words, taking things personally, and making assumptions will become weaker and less frequent at time. And that is true, because when you wasn't on your spiritual path, you wasn't fully awakening in your healing, you could take what the world says on your shoulder to, to have a chip on your shoulder, or have it personally, or you being personally the victim or target. And when you begin to see the big picture as you do your spiritual awakening awareness, God begins to open your eyes to see that, there is some bad people out there, that will, target you and speak negativity against you, create hate groups and stuff like that against you. For no particular reason. They just, either it's because of the way that you look, or the way you talk, or the way you do business, or the way you conduct yourself or respect yourself. You always going to have that set of group that's always going to be persecuting you and criticizing everything that you do. Just picking at your words, what you say, and have a discussion on it, on their opinion or what they assume. And so that's when God just puts you into a higher vibration, shifting you above that. That's for the low vibration people and the unhealed people that wants to stay stuck in that situation and that energy. That's not what God has you for you to do. He wants you to go higher than that. You rise above. It's just like the eagle in the sky. You know, when you see an eagle, they're flying high to see their prey. What's going to be their next meal? You know, so they're flying and they're searching, you know, looking out for their next meal. So, and that's what the same thing you have to do. You have to fly high like an eagle and see your enemies, you know, from high up, from a higher perspective. And then God will show you the plans. He will show you how to maneuver, how to dodge and duck it. Realize the power of your words. And that's so true. You know, always realize the power of your words, you know, to create. It is a gift that comes from God. So I'm going to put that there. You know, your word is the power that you have to create. It is a gift from God. And it's true. Your words is a gift from God. You know, God is speaking to everybody all the time. It's whether or not you have the ears to listen. Listen to his voice when he's talking to you. When he's saying, don't do this, or don't go there. You know, or you need to release this, or I need you to get yourself in a position to receive. You know, all of this is directions from God, speaking in different things, different forms. And this, you just have to have the ear to listen, you know. And also too, when he wants you to talk or speak to someone, you know, on your platform, so social media or whatever, you know, knowing that your words are powerful, knowing that your words came directly from God, and that it's going to touch whoever it needs to touch at that moment. You speak the word and you let it go, and you move on to your next. You know, in the Bible they talk about the power of the tongue. It has life and death, and it does. You know, when you are anointed, you are appointed, and you are chosen by God and highly favored by God, sometimes you have to be careful, you know, what you speak out your mouth, because sometimes you can bring blessings and curses on people just by the power of your words or what you're saying. You can manifest things with the power of your words, ideas and creativities. You can demand things to come. You know, you have the access now to the divine one in God, where you can go directly to the throne and you can ask for what you want, what you desire, what you want to have, what you don't want to have. And he was showing me about this because I had questions about this one too. It says, all the magic you post is based on your words, and you cast spells all the time with your opinions. You can either put a spell on someone with your word, or you can release someone from a spell. So I had to ask God for more clarity on this, because, you know, to get more understanding of what he was trying to say in this. And what he was saying is that, you know, it's the same thing when I was saying the power of your tongue. You can speak curses or blessings on people. People don't know that words is a form of a spell too. Because if you constantly speaking negative on somebody all the time, on somebody's life all the time, then you already casting the spell of negativity, you know, craziness or mental illness on somebody's life. And that's why I say you have to be careful what you speak out of your mouth, because sometimes your words can manifest, and then you wonder why the person is acting crazy or mentally ill, because you had already spoken it upon their life. You know, you need to speak blessings over that person, positivity over that person's life. even if the person has done you wrong, you continue to speak the blessing, forgiveness, so that way God can deal with them and not retaliate and do all this magic or spells or whatever. But just remember that words also can be as a spell to release, from someone. You can also release somebody also with the powers of your words too. Or a situation, or you want to call something to a close, you can also do that too, to release, like an energy or a karmic energy, like they be saying, or it's just a stagnated or procrastination energy, that you're not moving forward, you're stuck, the struggles or obstacles. You can also use your words to release them, because once you release, it goes into the heavens. Your angels take your words back to heaven, and then they begin to work on your behalf. So that's what I said, just be careful with that. Seek to know the truth. And that's sometimes people tends not to seek to know the truth. It's that when you hear an opinion and believe it, you make an agreement and it becomes part of your belief system. The only thing that you can break this agreement is to make a new one based on truth. Only truth has the power to set you free. And that is so true. It's because when you sit there, like suppose somebody say, oh, well, she's not telling the truth about her spiritual journey, her healing, because I know she used to be this and she used to be that. Okay, yeah, that person might were there before she got on her spiritual journey, her awakening. She heard the call of God on her life for her mission, her talents, her gifts to be used at this moment, at this present time. So now that this person has moved on and healed from that area, you can't continue, speaking false truth on this person anymore. It no longer works, because now this person has made a new agreement based on the truth. Excuse me. Where it has set that person free from those past mistakes, those past flaws. You still trying to pass judgment on something that this person already got freed from and healed from, and now transition on to something bigger and better. And that's what you have to understand, that people, when they're not awakening, they're not healed, then they're not going to understand anything that you say, because they looking at it from an unhealed perspective, an unhealed opinion, what they believe in at that moment. Until God waking you up and get you to see the truth in everything, in his words and his speaking, then that's when you'll understand then. And then you'll be set free. You know the truth. And you got a lot of people that are creating like false profiles, on chosen ones, and sending things to themselves and pretending like, that the chosen ones are doing this and doing that against them, and they're really not. They're about their Father's business, which is God's business. Their mission, their spiritual path, their journey, what they need to do to get their mission completed. So when they do transition to heaven to be with God, ancestors and angels, God gonna say, well done, my faithful servant. And that's most focused on. You can't have the words of distractions and the words of other people, hatred, to tear you away from speaking the truth, and other people of knowing the truth. You know, these people that be following, these people that be speaking hatred and different things on them, have you ever asked the question, well, why you hate this person so much when they're speaking positive things into the world, into people's lives, to change their lives, to transform their lives to be better? So why are you doing this? What is your motive, your reason behind it? You know, you following somebody that has no morals, no respect for their self, you know, always speaking negativity on other people and hating on other people, you know, want to get groups and stuff against to hate on other people, you know, chosen ones that is doing the work of God. Instead of they getting somewhere and seek God for their self and get some healing in their lives and be awakening so they can just start doing their spiritual gift and start winning souls and, you know, people also, you know, spreading love, joy, and positive, then it's never going to be until then. So sometimes you have to weigh out the truth and say, you know, is this person really do know this person well to know this about this person? Or does this person hearing hearsay? Or this person is judging them based on appearance or the way their spoken words or the way they carry themselves in respect and integrity? You know, an upright citizen that works hard every day, you know, trying to better their life, improve their life, not out here tearing down people, you know, just destroying people, but speaking the truth on things, calling it to the light for to be seen. You know, having great faith, you know, in your powers of your words, you know, in your healing, you know, in your spiritual world, your walk with God. You know, no more self-judgment and blaming yourself. You know, like I said, you already healed from that. So it's no more of that. And don't allow anybody to take you back into that situation. You know, God has already healed you. Have already shifted and transitioned to a higher level of vibration frequency. You know, you way up there. You so far up there in the paradigm shift that you don't have time to worry about, you know, what goes on or what naysayers and negative people saying. Is, you know, it's no more for that. Everything will bring to the light. The truth will come out to the light sooner or later. You know, that person will be exposed. You know, just like if people come and take listen to your videos and then want to take the words and everything you say and make it fit to their life. So it's like they're trying to steal your walk, your life, and they don't want to do the work. The only thing they want to do is come in and just take it and take over your energy and saying that, oh, this happened to me, when nothing has really happened to this person. They just wants to be in your energy to feel important, to make them people think that they know a lot spiritually. You know, you would know when someone knows a lot spiritually is because they're anointed for one thing. You will feel the presence of God when this person is speaking. You'll feel the genuine, authentic love, compassion, you know, towards from this person. You'll feel this peace, this calm energy from this person. You're not going to feel chaos and uproar, rage and anger, you know, uncaring, you know, cold-heartedness. You're not going to feel none of that. And when you have somebody constantly, you know, in your energy, trying to pretend to be your life and try to take over, that's when God steps in and exposes the people. He will expose them through other people. Will see that these people are not genuine. They are fake. They can't come up with their own ideas, so they want to take other people's ideas to make it work for theirs. And those people, God said that He's going to judge and He's going to expose them for who they really are, because they're not awakening. They're not awake at all. They still spiritually dead, as what you would say. And they got a lot of unhealing in their hearts that they have not healed. Let's go on. And it talks about, expressing your self-love again, express the love in your interaction with others, and that allow actions will produce like a reaction. So, expressing your love at all times. Sometimes it's going to get hard, and sometimes you don't want to express that love to that person, but you got to look at it as for humanity, and the calling that God has on your life, that you have to show that love, compassion, and kindness to those people that is around you, strangers and everything else, everyday encounters with others. Your body and soul is like a fertile ground, where you sow a seed and it's being planted, then it grows, and that's the same thing. And so when you plant something, it grows to be something beautiful. And that's how your mind, your soul is that when you start getting closer to God, He is planting all that wisdom into you, that knowledge, the light, the being, the anointing. He placed it inside of you, so that way you can start growing, into this beautiful blossom, this flower that's blooming and blossom. It's shining bright. You're standing your ground. You stand in your center. You know who you are. You're not allowing anybody to dictate your every movement, your whereabouts, what you say, what you can't say, what you can do. You're seeking that divine guidance from the divine one, your angels, your ancestor. You going inward into your soul, searching yourself to know that you don't have to second guess anything. When an opportunity comes, you already know, because God has already warned you or showed you about the opportunity. So it's no prolong of making decisions on, should I do this, or should I take this job, or should I not do this job, should I start this business, should I not do this, should I have kids, or should I not have kids, should I get married? All of that is all out of the way. God is now taking care of your well-being financially, spiritually, and emotionally. Only you have to do is just ask Him to show you, and He will show you exactly which way to go, which way not to go, when you need to wait, when you need to have the patience, when you need rest. And it comes back to the same thing. It said, impeccability of the words can lead you to personal freedom, success, and abundance. You attain the kingdom of heaven from the agreement and from your words. And it's so true. Once you know that you're awakening and you're healing, it's so unlimited of personal freedom, success, and abundance. That joy, that love deep inside, the compassion, the kindness, that you will have, that God has instilled with you, that you know that you can go to the divine one directly. No third party, no in-between mediator. that can go back and forth. You can bypass all that and go directly to the throne of God and ask for what you want, ask for your desire. If there is something, that is hindering you, you can ask God to remove it, expose it. Everything that you can do, He is there for you. Access is fully granted to walk in your calling, your divine calling, your spiritual walk. Also, to avoid using words to speak against yourself or gossip about others. Use the power of your words to direct the truth and love. And it's true, like I said, if you go into TV, you go to social media, you go into the workplace, family gathering, everybody's always gossiping about something. And then you have the ones that is speaking negativity against themselves. And God is saying to stop that. Redirect those words. Stop the gossip. Stop getting into the groups of the gossip and talking about one another. Instead, if somebody has fallen short from the grace of God, then there's no need for you to get into a group and start talking about them to get validation, of their karmic or their judgment or their lessons or whatever. Whose right is you to dictate somebody's life, because they have fallen from grace or from God? Who gives you the power to dictate and to start up groups or whatever, a conversation about somebody, or spreading rumors, negative rumors and false rumors about somebody? It's none of your business. That's up to God and that person. If somebody come to you with gossip, you nip it in the bud right then and there. You cut it off right then and there. And then they won't come to you again, because they'll say, oh wait, you know what? I can't go and gossip to that person, because that person is not going to take it. They're going to cut you off quickly. And that's what needs to be happening. People need to be bold, strong, and firm. And say, look, don't come with me with this gossip. Don't come with me with this negativity, because I don't want to hear it. I'm in a deeper level now of learning, transcending, being one with God. On my purpose is my spiritual journey, my mission, my path, my healing. And to spread the word of love, joy, happiness, and peace, and all that stuff of the good, everything to the people, to the chosen one, to the spiritual beings. Earth angel, light worker, and starseed, they are all working out here diligently, hard working. And then you got some that is not. But you got some that is really, really want to see people do well in life and not try to tear people down. Trying to be people's downfall. Their tower moments. No. By you speaking and gossiping against these people. And, and against yourself. Delete the old habit of self-way belief system, the way of thinking. Delete that old belief system. That's what he's saying. Speak the truth in love. Of course, let go, of your past so you can enjoy, your future, your dreams. And I like this one too. It said, what others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. So I'm going to put that there, because that's a good one to meditate on. And it's so true. When others going to always project their own reality, their own energy, their own opinions, their own belief system onto you. And when that happened, it kind of stopped your growth, your stagnation, because you so focused on what other people are saying. You so focused on if you pleasing other people, people pleasers. You so focused on, oh, well, I don't want to jump sides. I don't want to, go on this side because I don't want this person to be mad at me. Or I don't want to do this because I don't want this person to be mad at me. All of this is projection of somebody's reality, their fears, based on their fears, their unhealed situation in their lives. And that's what it's based on, and it's being projected to you. So instead of this person going through their total healing or whatever, or hearing God's calling, they rather project it onto you and make you go through their own energy, their own reality that God has been for them. And that's when you start kicking the people out your energy. And that's when you say, no, that's not me. Because I know I was happy. I know I was peaceful. And I was enjoying my life, enjoying my day, or during my week or weekend or whatever, until this person came around. That's when you send that energy right back to them, because they need to go through their lessons that God is having them to go through. And you call on your earth angels, you call on God, you call on your angels, your ancestor, to block it, so that way they won't come into your energy with the foolishness and try to cloud it up your immune system, your soul, your mind, to be suffering when they're the ones that needs to be suffering, because they did something that God was not pleased of. And now God is doing the judgment, and they don't want to go through the judgment. So then that's when you recognize. That's why God said you keep meditating, steadfast in your praying, at all times, because the enemy can trick you at any time and come in different disguises, and you thinking it could be good and it's really bad for you, and you won't know it until after it got into your energy. So that's why you have to be on your guards and know when something using your empathy, I guess that's how you say it, you use that to discern, what energies is all around you. Because even when you go outside into the world, there's energies that's going to be attracting to your light, because they know that there's a angelic being around. So they're going to come close to your light. And things that they need to go through, they want to project it onto you, so they can go on about their little business and will carefree. And that's why you have to protect yourself. When you're going out into the world, and that there's a lot of spirits floating around, there's a lot of energies, all around, good and bad. And you have to decipher, and keep yourself protected, and grounded and tuned into God, your ancestors, and your angel spirit guide. And it doesn't mean that you have to be in the house all the time. No. Just make sure that you pray before you go out anywhere. Because there's danger all around. And we see it all the time. You start seeing all of those, bad, negative feelings and everything else, it'll disappear. Just like this old energy that keeps hanging around, lurking around, it's going to disappear. It's just a residue of it. And it, from a spiritual warfare, it was a hard battle that the chosen ones, spiritual beings, went through. That last cycle was a really battle, because it was from your past life generation also that you were battling from, in the presence, so that it doesn't repeat itself in the next cycle or the next past life. It won't repeat itself. It'll end in this cycle. And I was seeing that it bring back to where God had shown me a vision of people was at the Wailing Wall, that where it's like in Jerusalem and Israel. And this wall was, where people can go and pray, and the prayer is supposed to reach up to heaven. And they go every year, like the Muslim, Islamic, they go there, and other Christians too, they go there too, just to see the Wailing Wall, which is called the Western Jerusalem Wall. And I was, asking God, so why He was showing me that, and He was saying, because, there are some people that has done the chosen ones really bad, with their sin, with their evilness, spell works and black magic and, backbiting and negativity, trying to destroy their reputation, their character. And God said He was not pleased with it. And so He was bringing judgment on these people. And that's why these people was like going into the spirit realm, to the Wailing Wall. If they couldn't go to the Wailing Wall, they'll go to like in the spirit realm, and they'll start praying and asking God for forgiveness and crying for their sins. But God was saying that He's not going to hear it. He turned a deaf ear to it. It's because He had already warned these people about their actions towards the chosen ones and spiritual being, earth angels, star seeds, and light workers, pastors and preachers and stuff like that. And He had told them, and they continue to ignore the warning signs. And now that judgment has passed on to them, spiritually and naturally, now these people want to cry to God for forgiveness, have mercy. And He said He turned a deaf ear on it. They're going to have to go through what they put out. They're going to have to go through it, because it was repeatedly, warnings constantly after the other. And I could also, He took me into another vision where I'm seeing people passing away, either from suicide, or either from gunshot, or either from overdose, and I could, and I could hear like this heartbeat, and it was strong, and then as it got weakened, and then it finally stopped, I could hear conversations of people trying to call, loved ones and different ones, and they couldn't get answers. Only they could do is get like a dial tone, from the phone line, or a voice message, that, they're not there, not available. I was hearing glass broken, where they was breaking the glass in the cars and breaking in the house, trying to get to these people to see if they're still alive, and still here, or they have passed on. I have seen where people had terrific accidents, in their vehicles and stuff, where to the point that their body is unrecognizable. That He was showing me in a vision, a deep vision, when I was meditating. And I was sitting there saying, God, please forgive these people, have mercy. And God was like, no, I'm not going to accept you getting in the way of divine intervention of these people's souls, because they knew what they were doing. And he was like, he's not going to allow the chosen ones, the spiritual beings, the pastors, the preachers, bishops, and all that, spiritual beings, that's, that are light workers in the churches and stuff like that. He said he's not going to allow them to intercede for these people. And he was like, these people, the spiritual people going to know, the chosen ones going to know not to intervene. Because even though when you want to, God is just going to block you from intervening. Because these people has to go through their suffering. They have to go through what they imposed on you. It's judgment time now is coming towards them. And now they have to have accountability of their evil actions towards people. And so it's many a times, and the energy was so heavy. I could see, the Grand Reaper, Papa Legba, if anybody knows about him also. If you don't, you can look him up and read about him. I just don't want to get into a lot of details with that. But he's had something to do with the underworld. And, you can hear people conversations about, I'm going to see you in next lifetime. And God is saying it's not going to be a next lifetime. It's not going to be a reincarnation, of the soul. Once the soul is death to the body and the soul leaves, is no reincarnation for that, because God said he doesn't want that same energy to be repeated in the next lifetime, or a rebirth or renewal. He wants to end it there. And it's kind of sad in a way that you have to watch loved ones, family, strangers, whoever go through this type of torment and suffering that God is going to be placing on their lives. And this is something that God is doing. It's not done by a human. God is doing this because he's getting tired of the way the evilness and wickedness in the world, inflicting, suffering on the chosen ones, that God has called chosen, anointed, appointed for this time to use their gifts. And these people continue to criticize and make fun of in judgment. And they wonder why their life is not going in the right direction. They're going the wrong way instead of going the right way. They wonder why things is happening to their kids, staying in trouble, going to jail. They're wondering why they're losing houses, business, relationship, marriage. They wonder why they're losing all of this. They wonder why their money is being hindered. It's because of all the evil intent that you have spoken on chosen ones. God is very jealous of his chosen one and his highly favored one. He's a jealous God when it comes to that, because he called you to do a work and he wants it fulfilled. And he's not going to allow anybody to hinder that. Yes, you're going to go through your lessons. You're going to go through your life experiences. And you're going to learn from it. That's all part of the process. But he's not going to put you in harm's way to where these people want to continue to keep attacking you day in, day out, and think that nothing's going to happen to them when it is. These people are really suffering. They're not going to tell you they are. They're going to make a pretty picture like they are not. But God and the ancestors and angels are really tearing them up inside their soul, their mind, their body, while they're sleeping. And you see why people can't sleep. It's because of God is really 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 getting on them, really getting on them about all the action, everything they have done. And you're going to see these people going to try to come and be nice to you, love bomb you, want to get back into your good grace, your presence. They're going to send all types of email, phone calls, support you, being nice when it was really nasty to you and ugly towards you. And then they were trying to be all nice, friendly, smiling, when at the same time they were stabbing you in the back. No more. God said no more. He said judgment time is here. Because he's tired. He's tired of these people. And sometimes, like I say, you just step back. And it reminds me of, you remember about one of the pharaohs in the Bible, and when they had heard that Jesus was, there was going to be a new king going to take the throne, and that he heard of a baby that was born. He didn't know where the baby was at in the city. God hid this baby, which was Jesus. He hid him from this king. So the king decided that he wants to go ahead and send an order out and have all the soldiers to kill all the children and unborn, kill the unborn, kill some children under a certain age. And so the angels came to where Jesus was, where Mary and Joseph had Jesus, had came to the house. And he told them to kill, I think it was either a lamb or a ram, one of the two, to kill and spread the blood across the threshold of the house. And that's what some of you need to do, because death is lurking. Death is here for some of these people. You're going to hear the death sound, the trumpet sound. And what you need to do is anoint yourself. Anoint your house. Anoint your cars. Anoint your kids. Anoint them so they don't get caught up when the death spirit comes to take these people. When they come to your house, when they come to you, they're going to smell the anointing on you. They're going to see the anointing with the glowing. Your spirit can be radiant, and they're going to bypass your house, your kids, yourself, your spouse, your family, or some of your family. It will bypass. But like your immediate family that lives in your household only, those the ones that you need to anoint. Because it's real out here. And me being I'm also still a nurse also. And I'm also like a medical esthetician too at the same time. That's part of my other business. But anyway, when I was in nursing, I still do nursing sometimes, here and there, just to keep up my skills. And I used to be a hospice nurse. Like I said, I used to work in a lot of areas of the hospital, long-term and short-term care facility and rehab facilities and stuff like that. So I got a lot of experience in the nursing field. And hospice, for some reason, was something that I was drawn to. Didn't understand it at first, but then I understood, because that was part of my calling. That when someone is about to die, they start going through what they call the 7 stages of death. And and when they get to that last stage, that's when you know that their soul has already, they don't made peace with God, and they're ready to, either go to heaven or hell. tell when a person is about to pass away. God would give me a sign, and he was saying, okay, Grace, it's time for you to go get the family, to bring them in, let them say their last words to this person, because I'm about to take their life. They're about to transition on. He was like, and he would tell me also that, sometimes it'd be so much dynamic in the family, where the mother was against the kids was against the father, didn't like the father, didn't talk to the parents, over years, and now they're on their deathbed. Now they want to say everything they want to say in life. Dynamics like that, where there was mistreating parents and mistreating kids, unhealed situations, relationships. And now they want to take, when a person is dying, to express everything that they wanted to express when they could express it before this person got really sick. Ask for that forgiveness, ask God for it to heal them or whatever. And I used to talk to a lot of family members, about, this is a time, if you have any unhealed errors in your life, or you had any grudges against your parents or against your sister, your children, or whatever, because it won't only just the hospice that I worked in, it was for children too. I worked in hospice with babies, where kids was dying, on their deathbed dying, babies, newborns, on up. So it won't just adults, teenagers, all of this was part of my line of work in hospice. And to see this, it gets very painful and overwhelming at times. I remember when I worked in a hospital, this man had passed away, and all of a sudden I broke down crying for this man. I had took care of this man, and I just broke down and started crying. And my nurse manager was like, Gracie, she was like, you're going to have a whole lot of people, you're working in this medical field, that's going to pass away. She said, you're going to have to get yourself together. Know that you did everything for this person and for the family to make this person comfortable at their last days of living on this earth. And know that you did your best, is what she always said to me. She said, don't allow the energy and the spirit of this person be attached to your soul, to your mind and your body, that you can't function and take care of other patients. So she instilled good wisdom and words to me with that. And I took those words with me, that when I went into hospice, that it's a process, life and death. We live, rebirth, and then we die, and we move on. So it was something like that I learned from this, with hospice. And that's why I'm able to, talk about a lot of things on my spiritual journey, spiritual healing, because I've seen a lot, and like I said, a lot of people try to walk in my shoes and they can't walk in my shoes. A lot of people judge me before they can even get to know me. They don't even know nothing about me. It's only what hearsay, based on lies what people told, or out of jealousy and envy. Only the ones that is connected to God will know you by the spirit and by the fruit that you bear. Your shining light, your glowing, your words, your soothing words. You will know by the spirit that this person is the truth, the divine one, and holy and by God. It's called by God to do this mission. And your spirit will discern the fake ones that are not. Because it's a feeling that they leave afterwards, is how you discern. And so, also with the clarity, wisdom, and understanding also, that God give the person to speak. And so I'm going to end this there, because like I said, the video got long again. Lord Jesus, help me. But he has me to say a lot, and a lot of things that needs to be out there, for healing, teaching, and learning, and to waking up other people. I'm using my testimony, to wake up other spiritual beings, that needs to be, that spiritually dead, walk around like a spiritual zombie, no life in them, and to wake them up to see the reality, to see the beauty, to see what God has in their life, to wake up their gifts and their skills and their talents, to edify, to spread more positive, encouraging words throughout this earth. Until next time, peace, love, joy, and happiness.